Well, this is not the review that I was anticipating doing. It's quite a bit different, and after having the i5 Surface Pro, the new Surface Pro, for about 2 weeks, I've had a number of different thoughts on the whole thing and have made a like I said, a very different video than I was expecting to make. I bought a second computer during this time because I really don't think the question is, should you buy the Surface Pro 2017 model? It's, should you buy the Surface Pro 2017 model or the Lenovo 720 with the GTX 1050 in it? And that question is really small, light, and portable because I do believe the new Surface Pro is best in class. There's things that I wish it did, but it doesn't. We're not there yet. It's not a gaming machine. You can do some light gaming on it, but if that's what you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to do 3D modeling, it's probably going to be a little underpowered for what you want. The Surface Book is a good alternative. However, I'm not a fan of the screen detach mechanism. I feel like it should hibernate, detach the screen, and then resume from hibernation or sleep. One of those two modes, so you don't have to shut down programs in between detaching the screen and switching to tablet mode. So for me, as an artist, it's far too slow of a process, and it rules out that system. Uh, the good news is that's about $1,000 more expensive than a more powerful machine by Lenovo. The battery's not as good. The machine's bigger and heavier, but if you're not going to college classes or traveling extensively and you're using it in relatively normal places and you just really need a powerful computer to do video editing or artwork or 3D modeling, which is kind of the same, or gaming, that this machine will do it for you. If you want a machine that has a pretty good battery life, because it is better than the Surface Pro 4, and markedly so. And even for me, where I have a heavier battery drain in the programs that I use, I still found that it was noticeably better. The pen is better. The tracking, the lag, latency, all of those different things, parallax, all that is better with the new Surface Pro than the Surface Pro 4. It is worth it if you need better battery life. If you just need better performance, I would wait. I would not go from the Surface Pro 4 to a new Surface Pro. If you're just wanting better performance, I would get a different machine. So that's why I'm doing the review like this. That's why I'm pitting the two against each other, not because they're necessarily comparable machines, but I think the question is, what is it that you will gravitate to? I don't go out as frequently. When I do want something light and easy to take notes on, the Surface Pro is great. If I'm just doodling or drawing in Photoshop, it's pretty good, and I'm happy with the way it performs. If I want something that will do almost everything I want it to do, and I'm not that concerned about it being the lightest machine, then the Lenovo 720 is a better bet for me. And for me, that is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to bypass the Surface Pro this time and go with the Lenovo because it fits my needs better. For those of you who are looking for what is the best option for a light, easy to use two-in-one, the Surface Pro is best in class. You can get something that's slightly not as nice for less, and there's a whole bunch of different machines that work. The Lenovo 720 has a 13-inch model that's really light and has similar specs and is relatively inexpensive. The HP 360, X360, I'm not sure what the name is. There's a handful of nice machines out there that work. One thing I do like about the Lenovo over the Surface Pro for the pen is it has Wacom technology, the AES, which is, in my opinion, just having the ability to easily remap the side buttons, and there's two, is great. The initial activation force does seem like it is less, so it's easier to draw light strokes, and I like that too. So those are my two complaints. I will say that if you're looking at buying either of the two machines, I have tried to find a way to become an affiliate for both Lenovo and Microsoft, and have not successfully done that yet. My interest is, if I'm going to promote something that I think deserves it, then I would like to make money from that as well. I think that that makes sense. However, I am completely uninterested in promoting something that I don't think is worth buying for myself, or a good machine. If you would like to find out how to save 10% on either machine, and it works for almost everybody, feel free to send me an email at justice@tabletpro.com. Alright, thank you. The last part of this video is gaming tests on the Lenovo, so it gives you an idea of how it performs for modern-ish games. Almost everything's running at 1080p. It does handle a couple games at 4K. By the way, the screen is 4K resolution. And it's not a beast of a gaming machine, but it is definitely the most powerful 2-in-1. So go ahead and enjoy those. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Thanks. Bye. For me, the battery issue, the length of battery life that I got out of the Surface Pro 4 was the reason I returned it. It was between 1.5 and 2.5 hours when I was actually working. This is looking like a 35% increase for me. I'm getting between 3 and 4 hours of actual drawing time where I'm actively using the pen and touch the whole time. And that's actually significantly better for me. And for me, that's a good enough battery life that if I turn the brightness down, I could probably extend that out to 5.5 hours. If I'm using Krita or something a little bit less resource hungry than Photoshop, I can probably get maybe another half hour to an hour out of that. But 5 hours of real world use is pretty good, especially for such a light tablet. The Yoga, on the other hand, I don't anticipate getting anything wonderful battery life wise, but I think that's not exactly the point. But still decent. If you're gaming in bed, which is one of the things I like to do, you'll want to keep in mind that the machine does get really hot if it's in the standard laptop mode. So the bottom of the keyboard's facing down, you have a blanket blocking all the vents, it's going to get hot. However, any of the other three modes, tent, presentation, and tablet, are all fine and work well without getting too hot. But you want to keep that in mind